The Dark Knight is the continuing story of Batman in Gotham, where he encounters the Joker, who's an enemy that is like no other, and he brings everybody to their worst by inducing panic and fear. He is the scariest villain that anybody in Gotham has ever had to deal with.
Part of the creation of this was this sequence called the prologue, which is basically the first 10 minutes of the film. And what's also really interesting in this film is that they shot a lot of it on native IMAX. So when we did the mix, our first task was to do this piece called the prologue.
And that was really where we kind of started to set the tone for this movie. At that point, we still had Heath Ledger with us, and he did record his lines in a traditional ADR looping fashion just for that sequence. When he passed away, Chris came out and said to us all, out of respect to Heath and Heath's performance, we will use what we have. If you hear Heath's voice, it is indeed Heath, I guarantee it. And it's an outstanding performance. There's no reason to try and manipulate it or change it.
Cut.
Part of the way that Chris wanted this movie to sound big and massive was through these characters, most specifically Batman. And you know, while a lot of the movie is considered real, Batman had to stand out to some degree as being the Batman. And Christian Bale gave a performance that was really exactly what Chris wanted. That wasn't something that was embellished or wasn't manipulated.
A little fight in you. I like that.
Then you're gonna love me.
We go to the city of Gotham, which is pretty cool because it was shot in Chicago. And what I think is really impressive in this movie is that it looks like a real place with real people.
The punches had to be real. The fight stuff had to be real. To the point where we're even using a lot of the production sound that was actually recorded on set.
The vehicles in the movie were created by Richard King, who is a really super talented sound designer.
He got this recording of this Tesla vehicle that, to me, just sold the concept of inertia, sonic inertia, just constantly pushing forward.
One of the things that is really intriguing, I think, to Chris is this concept of the shepherd tone, which is a rising pitch and a falling pitch that constantly are cycling together. So you get this sort of drive to the sound. It's going in a particular direction, but it never quite reaches a pinnacle because every time it gets to the top, it kind of is already started over. The other big element in the Bat Pod were the tire sounds. You needed to feel it really heavy on the road, that it had weight to it. There's a couple scenes that were really fun, and one of them was obviously the big car chase.
We used everything, you know, we used a huge amount of Foley, we used a huge amount of sound effects, we used a huge amount of production sound effects. That certainly was a highlight. That was certainly a challenge and fun.